time. You'll never call, but I hear stories all the time. I never knew if I could count on you, but at least I always knew that you tell your truth. I could get smart, but it never get used. One that never gets as confused as two. Cream of the crop, no time is lost. My best, it's yours, you'll take the lot. We can't exist while I persist. You can be all you can be if you think I would limit it. Even if I give you everything, it would never be enough. It would never be enough. So why do I stay up at 3 a.m. thinking I should bring you lunch, thinking I should bring you lunch? You're a black hole and you suck me in. Booze is all I ever do, but hey, I like to see you win. But damn, I think it's time we lost touch. I think it's time we lost touch. My sense of self is really starting to unwind. More so than ever with your stories on my mind.
The following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you know this even on a Tuesday. It doesn't matter who the host is. Yes, that is for sure. Anyways, today... Wow, what is that weird echo stuff that's going on? Anyways, today is Tuesday, July the 25th of 2023, day 206 of the year, and only 159 days left to go. Anyways, I hope everything is good and grand inside of your neck of the woods, because those things are super important. Anyways, we are broadcasting, we are broadcasting live. Oh, yeah, wrong thing. Broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues at that other place.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
You know, when we hang out with Radio Big, that just means we're doing a brief hostile takeover of their station, doing our numero uno, dos, and tres of the Jay Allen in the Morning Show. So depending on where you hang out, you get to listen to all that kind of fun stuff. So it just really depends on what the hell you want going on. So don't worry about that stuff, because that's neither here nor there, nor everywhere. So how was the last 24 hours for you? Are you looking fun? Are you looking forward and having fun and all that kind of stuff? You can't be looking fun. I don't know what looking fun is. Maybe that's a whole other conversation. But are you having fun? Are you enjoying the things that you're doing? If not, what will you do differently today that you didn't do any of the previous days? Listen, right now, I always like to think about things from this particular standpoint. You might be at the best point in your life to this point. And I'm only talking about things to this point. Things could get better as you do move forward. Isn't that great? Isn't that great to think about? I know. A little cherry on top starting off. But let's talk about what we do here. If you want to interact with the show, simple process of doing so. Go to callinradio.com. That will get you inside of our system, moving and grooving, messaging, and all that kind of fun stuff. So don't worry about that aspect. From that particular point on, all you do is just do whatever you want inside of there. It makes it easy to get everything moving and grooving. Outside of that, we talk about news and safety and news and all that kind of fun stuff. And people get very confused from time to time. It's not only about safety. And it's like, I know, that's the whole point of the whole show. So that's the thing. Rated R Safety Show but we talk about news, entertainment, and safety all in one giant group of stuff. That is for sure. So don't worry about that. Anyways, with that being said, let's start talking right away about what the hell was trending in the overnight.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so in taking a look-see around of what the hell was going on, so a cookie recall did occur, and an illicit cheese discovery. We'll talk about that as we get into the shit list. Pete Davidson gets community service, and Lizzo does her first shoey. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Barbie is a box office hit, and props for the Beetlejuice 2 have gone missing. So we'll see what happens there. We'll talk also about what the hell's going on with some news stories, because, you know, we do have some people that sit around and that's all they do, is they want to tell you about what the hell is going on inside of the world of the news. And then we're going to talk real quick about what the hell is going on with all this heat wave that's going around in the U.S. if you're in the U.S. of A. So don't worry, we're going to cover all of that information for you, so that way we can get moving and grooving with things. Because why would you not want to be grooving and moving, or moving and grooving, and all that other kind of fun stuff all together? So there you go. So we are a radio show that does a video podcast and an audio podcast all together. You know, I think it's kind of interesting that people are now all gung-ho about, oh yes, I am doing video podcasting. Video podcasting. Wouldn't it just be a podcast with some video aspects, or a video? I mean, how is it video podcasting? And this is not some new idea. Think about it for a moment. Yeah, I mean, podcasts have been around for a while. Doing a video has been around for a while. For some reason, you know, YouTube has been around for a long time. It just gets weird when people start doing, I'm doing video now with my little show. Okay, cool. That's great. Anyways, I'm pretty sure that I could start just taking a look over on what the hell's going on in our industry and going, what the hell are people thinking again? But let's not get here. Let's not get there. Let's just continue to do this show in our underwear. Yep, that's what happens most of the time. Anyways, with that being said, let's get you into the news, because I have some people that are just dying to let you know what the hell is going on. So let's do that right now on this show.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner. The White House says President Biden was never in business with his son Hunter. More from Mark Mayfield.
That's what Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre told reporters on Monday. Her statement was in response to allegations claiming a Ukrainian energy executive paid millions in bribes to Biden and his son during the president's time in the Obama administration. Republican Senator Chuck Grassley released a document last week which details an FBI source's conversation with executives from Burisma Holdings, a Ukrainian energy firm that hired Hunter Biden as a director in 2014. The allegations have been at the center of House Republicans' investigation into an alleged influence peddling scheme by the Biden family.
The Biden administration is suing Texas over a floating border wall. The Justice Department filed the lawsuit Monday in a federal district court in Austin after a deadline it had given Texas to remove the barrier had passed. The system of buoys, which is floating the Rio Grande near the town of Eagle Pass, has the support of the Border Patrol Union. The White House is threatening to veto a proposed military construction bill. Brian Shook reports.
On Monday, White House officials said the Republican-backed bill would cut domestic spending to levels far below what the Fiscal Responsibility Act allows and would hurt critical services. If the bill goes through, there would be deep cuts to climate change and clean energy programs, law enforcement, education, healthcare, and more. Lawmakers are scheduled to discuss the military construction bill this week. I'm Brian Shook.
The Hollywood strike isn't the only thing setting back production on Beetlejuice 2. Vermont authorities announced they're investigating the theft of 2 large props that were stolen straight from the movie set. The investigation began nearly 2 weeks ago after a large lamppost topped with a pumpkin was reportedly stolen by someone in a pickup truck. 3 days later, a nearly 200-pound sculpture was taken from the production set. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in the UK, I'm John Beaver. Hundreds more people had to be evacuated from parts of roads overnight as wildfires continue to rage on a number of Greek islands. North Korea has fired 2 ballistic missiles into the sea just hours after a US nuclear-powered submarine arrived in South Korea. And Chinese President Xi Jinping has pledged to support the country's struggling property sector as he mapped out an economic strategy for the second half of the year.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
Protests are rocking Israel after Parliament passed a law weakening that country's Supreme Court. This Israeli military reservist criticized Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for pushing for the new law.
I'm ashamed of him. I think he's the first dictator over Israel. I think he's lost his heart.
Lawmakers unanimously approved a key portion of the controversial judicial overhaul. The vote came after lawmakers opposed to the bill stormed out of the chamber. The measure removes the court system's ability to strike down unreasonable government decisions. Critics say it undermines democracy in Israel. Miami-Dade Police Director Freddie Ramirez is in stable condition after he shot himself in the head on a Florida highway.
Please keep this family in your prayers. This is a man with a stellar career in law enforcement, and we want to make sure that we are trying to do everything we possibly can to get him back to full recovery.
Authorities say Sunday's incident happened after an argument with his wife. Tampa police were called to the domestic dispute at a hotel where Ramirez was attending a conference. He remains hospitalized after having surgery Monday and is expected to survive. The White House is condemning Russia's attacks on the Ukrainian port city of Odessa.
They have destroyed port infrastructure and tens of thousands of tons of grain that could have fed hungry people around the world.
Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said Russia continues to bombard the city with missiles and armed drones. The administration is also concerned Russia may target more civilian ships in the Black Sea. The IRS is ending unannounced visits to taxpayers. More from Lisa Taylor.
The agency said it's looking to enhance safety measures and help ease confusion among taxpayers. Revenue officers typically visit homes and businesses to collect unpaid taxes, according to the IRS. The announcement says that except for a few unique circumstances, that decades-long practice will now come to an end, and instead those taxpayers will get a mailed letter to schedule appointments.
Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show. Self-implode on our airwaves. Only on Safety FM.
Okay, only on Safety FM, but we're on Radio Big at the same time, too. So how the hell does that work? So let's talk about that. Anyway, 17 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Tuesday. So there you go. Let's start talking real quick about some things that are going on according to the shit list, because that's what we do around here. We talk about everything that's going on. Twitter rebrand to X hit a momentary, snag on Monday when some dork called the cops on the company for having the old logo taken down from the building facade. Local media in San Francisco reported that someone called the possible unpermitted street closure and to accommodate with a crane used to take the signage down. After officers arrived, they determined that the incident was not a police matter, so may it be a union thing. The confusion did cause a delay on the project, and workers abandoned the effort with just the last two letters of left on the sign, according to The Verge. I mean, that gets kind of weird. So, worth noting, businesses in San Francisco can't get police to show up when the vagrant tripping on who knows what drug is freaking out customers in front of their store, but the cops will sure do show up in a hurry for some weird stuff like this of the Twitter logo being taken down. I don't get it. What do you think about this whole thing of X? Is that going to be something that you're going to continue to use? I mean, I don't know. I think it gets kind of interesting. I mean, there is no doubt about that as we are taking a look at it. I mean, it's interesting. I just don't understand. I don't understand what it's trying to convert to, because yesterday there was the rumor and the conversation of it was trying to be similar to LinkedIn. So I guess we'll have to take a look at that as things do tend to go forward and move forward and go from there. Anyways, take a listen to this. Trader Joe's has issued a recall on 2 types of cookies after the manufacturer alerted the store that the offering could contain rocks. No, not the rock, but rocks. 2 flavors are affected: almond windmill cookies expiring between October the 19th and the 21st, and dark chocolate chunk and almond cookies expiring between October the 17th through the 21st. So what do you think? Would you be excited about getting some rocks in your cookies? That's something to think about. No details if they're talking about pebbles or little stones. Either way, best to stay safe. Trader Joe's will give you a full refund if you bring back the contaminated cookies. So there you go. This is all coming via NBC News. So there you go. Some stuff to think about. But could you imagine that? All of a sudden you're eating some cookies and you get some rocks in it. Yeah. Good times. I can't even fathom that. You know what the hell that would do to your teeth? Anyways, take a listen to this. Imagine enjoying a relaxing afternoon snorkeling in a beautiful river near Boise, Idaho. Looking at the sea of life and enjoying the water, only to be interrupted during your trip when the encounter of a dead body. Yeah, you encounter a dead body. Well, this was a case that occurred over the weekend. The snorkeler was a member of the Idaho County Sheriff's Office who was training to be part of the dive team. Initial reports say that the remains had likely been in the water for some time, and the community is currently not in danger. Hold on. The community is not in danger, but you found a body that was in the water for some time. Think about that for a moment, okay? I mean, I just want you to think about it. So you had water, you had some damage, but you're not too concerned. I mean, I think this is an area of concern to be mentioned almost immediately. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking about this, but definitely something that I would be thinking about right away. Just something to throw out there. Anyways, take a listen to this. Carly Russell, the woman who was allegedly kidnapped after pulling over to check on a toddler, she allegedly saw standing alongside an Alabama interstate, only to return home on her own accord 2 days later, has admitted making it all up. On Monday, a week after alleged kidnapping occurred, Carly's attorney gave Hoover Police Chief Nick Dursey a statement saying that that it was all a hoax. In a statement, Carly apologized for her actions while also asking for prayers as she deals with her issues. No charges have been filed through. Dursey's has been a meeting today with the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. This is according to Newsweek. So let me just ask a question here. Why in the hell do you think that you would need to sit around and make some just random crap up? Like, seriously. I don't get it. Like, do you need that kind of attention that you go, I think this might be a good thing to make up and go from there? I mean, it just seems like a very weird thing to do. Like, this is the best story. Number one, this is the best story you can come up with. And why in the hell would you want to come up with something like this? It's just a weird overall thing. Just saying. Anyways, with that being said, I think John Smalls is due to be into our life at this particular moment, and let him talk about what the hell is going on with the Market Beat.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Tuesday, July 25th, brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Equity markets moved higher Monday to put the S&P 500 at its highest closing level in over a year. The move was driven by a lack of news more than anything else as the market takes a breath and wait for what's to come this week. On the earnings front, the market expects reports from nearly 200 of the S&P 500 companies, making this the busiest week of the reporting cycle. Reports from Microsoft to Coca-Cola Company are due out and will give more evidence on what to expect from the second half of the year. On the economic front, the market is waiting for the Fed's next move and the most recent data on inflation. The Fed meets on Tuesday and Wednesday, and they're expected to hike rates by another 25 basis points. The question is what they do next, and the answer may come Friday. The PCE index is due Friday and is expected to moderate. If the index is cooler than expected, it could lead the market to new highs. If not, the threat of the FOMC rate hikes will linger and weigh on the market. You can get the inside track at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thank you, John Smalls, for the information on what the hell is going on. Here's what I was able to locate. It goes something like this. The Dow added 183 points to close at 35,411 on Monday. The S&P added about 18 points to close at 4,554, and the NASDAQ added about 26 points to close at 14,058. West Texas Intermediate closed at $78 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $82 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.59. This is why I'm riding my bike as of late. And Bitcoin fell more than 3% on Monday and was trading just over $29,000 on the news as a crypto mega exchange. Binance is likely to face a heightened regulatory scrutiny, so just so you know. There was more than 5,620 flights delayed within, into, and out of the United States on Monday, and about 250 such cancellations. Tonight's Mega Million drawing will be for, you ready for this? $820 million jackpot, or a $422 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, it's time to do so. I guess that gives you the opportunity on doing so if that's something you're interested in. If you're not interested in it, don't play it. I have relatives that's all they ever seem to do, is play that game. But hey, whatever. Take a listen to this. The blistering heat wave that has been hitting the Southwest for weeks is expanding towards the middle of the country. Mark Mayfield has more info.
It's likely to bring temperatures towards 100 degrees to several Midwest states this week, while the East Coast could see its hottest weather of the summer. Tens of millions of Americans remain under heat alerts. Meantime, Phoenix, Arizona's streak of days above 110 degrees was extended to 25 on Monday. High temperatures remain in the forecast in states like California, Nevada, Texas, and Florida. I'm Mark Mayfield.
That is crazy, above 110. And listen, I will tell you, I was dumb again this year and went out to the desert in the middle of the heat because, that's just what I do. Like to go out to the desert in the summer because I have all kinds of issues, but we can get into that at some other point in my life. But think about that, 110 degrees. Where is there to hide? That's what I want to know. Anyways, take a listen to this. Northwestern University is facing another lawsuit over hazing scandal in the athletic department. Perry Williams has more information.
Former NU quarterback Lloyd Yates filed suit yesterday.
I want closure for myself and hundreds of other Northwestern football players who suffered in silence.
The complaint detailed allegations about sexualized hazing within the program. Yates is being represented by high-profile civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump and Stephen Levin, who say they will be filing suits on behalf of more than a dozen former student athletes. I'm Perry Williams.
Okay, thank you, Perry Williams, for the information. Take a listen to this. Investigators could be wrapping up the crime scene of work at the Nassau County home of the accused Gilgo Beach serial killer as soon as today. Authorities have carried out boxes of evidence, brought in excavation equipment, and found a vault with guns at Rex Huerman home in Pasquia Park. Take a listen.
We're just doing a total investigation around the house to see if there's anything back there that we need to take a closer look at.
Meanwhile, Suffolk Police Chief Rodney Harrison is warning folks not to stop and look at the home or they can get summoned for stopping traffic. Well, I guess that's really what you're going to be concerned about. Let's see. The Huerman has pleaded not guilty to charges connected to the death of sex workers on Long Island. So that seems like that's going to get interesting. There is no doubt about that. Anyways, take a listen to this. Richmond, Virginia is having this information come about. Tuition is going up in some college-bound students in the Commonwealth. Richard Sterling has more.
It's about to cost more for a higher education in Virginia. Community colleges are raising tuition this school year by 3%. That comes out to $4.61 more per credit. So for an associate's degree, students will have to pay an extra $276 over 4 semesters. Officials say they delayed the hike for several months, but with budget talks on hold, the money is needed now to cover salaries and benefits. I'm Richard Stelling.
Okay, thank you, Richard Stelling, for the information right there on what exactly is going on, because that is needed info, no doubt about that. Take a listen to this. Virginia remains on the top consideration as the home for the FBI.
Virginia is renewing the fight to land the new FBI headquarters. Governor Youngkin and other lawmakers say Springfield remains the top site in every category over Maryland, despite recent changes in the selection guidelines. They detailed why in a letter to the FBI and General Services Administration. Several groups in the state also sent a separate letter on how choosing the city would advance equity and have a transformative impact. I'm Richard Stelling.
Okay, thank you very much, Richard, for that. The U.S. Navy and Marine Corps will take part of a large-scale exercise next month. Sarah Bartlett has more.
25,000 personnel will take part in the exercise for 10 days. WAVY reports that it's happening all over the world. The Naval Warfare Development Center in Norfolk will serve as the command for it. The goal is to give the Navy and Marines a sense of their technology in a simulated scenario, interacting with each other. It'll be both live and virtual. The last large-scale exercise was held in 2021, and this year a major focus will be the responses following Russia's war on Ukraine. I'm Sarah Bartlett.
Okay, thank you, Sarah, for the information right there on what was going on, because that's always interesting to hear what is going on inside of the world. The body of a 2-year-old girl from South Carolina who was swept away in the flooding in a flooding last week in Pennsylvania has been found. Take a listen to this.
Last week, flooding caused 2-year-old Maddie Shields and her 9-month-old brother Conrad to go missing in Pennsylvania. The children are from South Carolina and were visiting family in the area at the time of the flooding. Authorities say they found her body in the Delaware River near Port Richmond on Friday night, more than 30 miles from where she went missing. Their mother, 32-year-old Katie Selle, was also killed in the flooding. There have now been 6 people confirmed dead from the flooding. I'm Tyreek Wynn.
I mean, you have a heat wave going on one side, flooding going on another. What the hell is going on inside of this world? I mean, just don't say it. It is definitely not caused by global warming. I mean, who would say such a thing?
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, active duty Marines are learning how to fight fires on the side. Bree Tennis has more information.
29 Marines at Marine Corps Air Station Miramar are now training to be volunteer firefighters. This is a first for the base history. The crews will work the front line of defense alongside the civilian-run fire department. This is on top of their duties as Marines. Right now, they're trained for cutting containment lines and putting out hot spots. Miramar Fire Chief Josh Allen says with more training, they'll be active candidates for fire departments nationwide. I'm Bree Tennis, NBC News Radio.
Okay, thank you for that one, Bree. As always, good to, see people volunteer even more than what they're already doing. Because, hey, why not? Let's continue looking around at some news on some things that are going on. Do we care about the NAFTA rally? Do we want to do that? Let's do that. A big rally is being held in Times Square this morning for actors and actresses on strike. Scott Pringle has more.
Well, this is called the Rock the City for a Fair Contract Rally. Members of the actors' union SAG-AFTRA walked off the job nearly 2 weeks ago over wages and compensation disputes between the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, which represents network studios and streaming services. SAG-AFTRA members are looking for protections against the use of artificial intelligence in film and TV production. Joining in on the rally, leaders from other local and state unions. Scott Pringle, NBC News Radio, New York.
Okay, thank you, Scott Pringle, for that information. So let's talk about this because this is going to continue to have an impact on the industry. You're not going to feel it right now, but give it a little bit of time and you're going to feel it depending on how much longer this actually goes in regards of what is happening when people deem that nothing is happening. But that's a whole other conversation that we could have for some other time. Anyways, it is 32 minutes past top of the hour, so let's do that thing that we do around this time. And what do we call that? Well, we call it some versionality of a main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
I think it's funny that there are other people out there that build their whole show around what the theme of the main story is. And I look at it from time to time and go, well, things can change so frequently as you're planning these things out that do you really want to do that to yourself? Where you go, okay, well, this is the main story and I have no room to move, because I think that that's kind of a wild one in regards of doing it in that fashion. But hey, that's neither here nor there, and I don't care because, I just kind of do things slightly different compared to some, and I think we've known that for some time, and I just think that it might be because I have some other issues related to what is going on. But let me not lose focus on what I'm trying to talk about this morning, and let me kind of focus on what is importante at the particular moment in time. So in talking about this, why is it that we tend to believe that if we stop talking about something, it will go away? Think about this. Think about how you've been inside of meetings, inside of organizations, where things have been said of, let's not talk about that, and the problem will solve itself. Think about it. Have you been in at least one meeting that has that? Could you say 2? Could you say 3? I mean, I can sit here and count about hundreds of them that I have been in where that same subject matter has been of, let's not talk about it and let's just see what happens. And some people believe that problem resolutions do occur in that particular matter, and I will have to say that I entirely disagree with that. I don't think that it happens in that fashion, but some people do. So as you look at some of the issues that you have going on inside of the organization that you work at, how often do you sit back and go, we're not going to talk about it to see if it resolves itself. I mean, I just kind of look at it and I go, okay, so imagine that you have a bill that's due and you just say, hey, I'm not going to pay it. And let's just see that it pays for itself. Just doesn't work that way. But from time to time, we have this weird thing that we do in our workspace that we think that these things are just self-resolve, and it doesn't happen in that fashion. Now, what occurs is that this problem will stay within your system and show up later on. And normally, it is a bigger issue than the original issue that you had. Think about it from the standpoint of you have a minor leak that it goes into a flood. Same kind of overall concept, not that hard to think about. So if you look at some of these things and go, that's a good way to look at it or a bad way to look at it, how would you go about changing some of the things that you're not looking at currently? No, seriously. Like, how would you change it? How are some of those things that your organization says, let's not focus on this? How would you bring this up and work around it? Now, there's multiple methods on doing this, and it's not that difficult to do. And probably the most popular way of doing this is asking the people inside of the workplace what is the most important thing they see that's going on that needs to be resolved. Yes, it's in getting that employee team member feedback on what is happening inside of the organization. Some people have a hard time believing that that's a great thing to do, but I'm going to tell you that is the best approach that you can take with some of the aspects of the things that are going on. If you don't look at it from that particular fashion, you're probably going to have a harder time in the long run. Because listen, problems don't just vanish. It's that whole thing, when sometimes some people are having a conversation with you and you ask that difficult question and they do that move where they look away. And for some reason, there's this weird belief system that if they look away, like you vanish or you disappear or you're not going to continue with the question. And I just don't think that that's how these things work. Some people tend to believe that's how that works, but it just doesn't. So if you have an issue going on inside of your organization, how about you do yourself a favor? Ask your team members, how could this issue be resolved? Not the people in the C-suite. Ask the people that are around you. They're going to understand the system better than most and might be able to even give you that path that you're looking for, but you weren't 100% sure on how to get there.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com. Well, you might be like me and heard all these terms and were not 100% sure on what they meant. Things is mining, blockchain, the Internet of Things. Well, I will tell you, we here at Safety FM have partnered up with a company that will explain this to you and will also have conversations to inform you on how you might have the potential of making passive income by being involved with this. All you need to do is go to safetyfm.com/iHub. They'll discuss blockchain. What exactly is mining? What is cryptocurrency? And what is the Internet of Things? To find out more information, go to safetyfm.com/iHub. That's safetyfm.com/iHub. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
Have hydrogen sulfide at work? Many industries have exposure to H2S gas. Effective H2S training of workers can save lives. You can be that trainer. Learn to teach the ANSI Z390.1 standard. After completion of the course, you'll be authorized to be a hydrogen sulfide safety awareness trainer. Sign up for the International H2S IDC online course today. Visit primus.training.
Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, and listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, the Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what can be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you.
He's the man. It's awesome, funny, random, doesn't make any sense, but it's good.
Jay Allen in the morning on Radio
The club, no time is lost. My best is yours. Your takes a lot. We can't exist while I persist. You can be all you can be if you think I would limit it. Even if I give you everything, it would never be enough. It would never be enough. So why do I stay up at 3 a.m. thinking I should bring you lunch? Thinking I should bring you lunch. You're a black hole and you suck me in. Lose is all I ever do, but hey, I like to see you win. But damn, I think it's time we lost touch. I think it's time we lost touch. My sense of self is really starting to unwind. More so than ever with your stories on my mind. Change the way I just started smoking all the time. Reject the best, forget the rest, just influence the time. Little me, I should say my piece. Tried to give you all the world as far as I could see. You're growing all the time, look, your life's a beach. You're lounging on the sand and I'm stranded on the reef.
Oh, here we go. 43 minutes past the top of the hour. Still hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show. Doing the things that we get to do. Yeah. Still coming to you live from the Safety FM studios. This right here, Lost Touch by Josho. You can give it a little streamer-eamer action if you want. YouTube Music, Apple Music, and of course, Spotify. We would like to thank Josho for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. You know, we always do a little bit of everything music-wise because, you know, we want to make sure that you're getting to listen to a little bit of everything because that's just kind of what we do around here. Anyways, with that being said, let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. Listen, we all go through struggles in some way, shape, or form in our lifetime. And To Write Love on Her Arms is there for you. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. To Write Love on Her Arms wants you to know that people have been where you are now and things can get better. Healing is possible. There is no doubt about that as we are talking. So keep that in mind as we are hanging and banging and doing all the things that we get to do. Think about that real quick. Imagine that. Imagine that you realize that there is help that is out there. Listen, sometimes help is not exactly the way that you think. I'm being serious. And let me explain what I mean here. Yes, they have phone numbers that are available. Yes, they have resources that are available. Yes, they have other different things that you can do to be connected to help. But I'm going to tell you this. Sometimes help can be talking to someone else that you know, going through it. Sometimes help can be listening to your favorite song. Sometimes help can be watching that TV show, watching that movie that just brings you a moment of joy. Seriously, I will tell you that I probably spend more time listening to music than anything else that I do. If you come and hang out with me, if you came over to my house, music is normally always playing. And the reason behind that is because music to me has always been there. So I look at it and I go, that's what I like to default to, and it kind of puts my mind at ease. So there are different connectors that are out there. To Write Love on Her Arms has resources for you and have other ways of actually doing connections, but understand that there's always different connections that are available. I mean, if you kind of think about it for a moment, and you are familiar with To Write Love on Her Arms, they are mostly found at music festivals, if you're kind of seeing them for the first time. So just some stuff to think about as we are hanging out this morning. Anyways, let's get into some other news of things that are going on before I forget. To Write Love on Her Arms, TWLOHA.com. Click on the section that says Find Help. So before I forget, let's talk real quick about some other stuff that is happening inside of the worldo, because that's what we have to do around here. Let's talk about, well, the weekend warriors. Yes. Interesting, a new study finds that exercising only on the weekends, being the weekend warrior, is still good for your heart. The study, which was published by the Journal of American Medical Association, determined that the weekend warriors have similar heart health to those who work out more regularly. Data from the 89,000 people who were analyzed, and it was found that those who are concentrated on their exercise efforts over the weekend had the same lowered risk of a slew of heart conditions, including heart attack, heart failure, and stroke. The researchers concluded that increased activity, even when concentrated within 1 or 2 days each week, may be effective for improving cardiovascular risk. Yes! You know what that means? It means that I'm only working out 2 fewer times than I should each week. I hope you got that. And it's just odd that when my friends and I were about 20, we all called ourselves weekend warriors, and what we were doing was not beneficial to our heart. There is no doubt about that as we are talking. So take a listen to this one real quick. Wear protection. Yes. It used to be that you knew that you were going to be outside for a while on a sunny day. You grabbed the jar of the sticky white lotion and slathered it on, case closed. But with the number of sun protection choices available now, some are calling a sunscreen boom, particularly thanks to the fact that sunscreen formulas are fun and designed for everyday life. Sales are growing by 4% year over year and are expected to hit $30 billion annually worldwide by 2030. SPF is now available in sprays, brush-on powders, whipped mousses, and roller sticks. There are sun patches to warn us when it's time to reapply, and they also have formulation for acne sufferers, allergy-prone complexions, and darker skin tones. There are also prestige sun care brands such as Supergoop and Kula, which have become the status symbols, commanding premium pricing, and of course those that celebs are entertaining market as well. Tennis star Naomi Osaka and pop star Pharrell have their own product line as well. And one dermatologist sees the prominence of sunscreen these days as a positive. Dr. Nan Boalki credits social media for amplifying the message of the importance of protecting your skin and from sun rays, and says that the influencers and social media healthcare professionals have helped a lot for younger people and men who have picked up on skin protection. A very light-skinned individual, I find it easy to get a healthy tan. I simply go sit beneath the full moon for about an hour, and that seems to work out for me. And remember the old days with when you used to use sun tanning oil before heading to the beach? Crazy times, and now those people are dead. So just think about that. You know, I will tell you, I have recently got into the whole SPF shirt thing. Let me explain what I mean here. The shirts that I have purchased recently, long sleeve shirts, have SPF built into them. They seem to be working. I mean, they seem to protect the things that I needed to protect as I was wearing them. So that was kind of a crucial aspect of it. So I don't know. Just something to think about. I don't know what you're doing, if it's important to you for wearing SPF stuff. But hey, it seems to be one of those things that it's all the rage as of late as we are talking. Anyways, take a listen to this. An investigation is underway after a Chicago police officer was shot on the South Side. Interim Police Superintendent Fred Waller talked about the incident and what happened in Inglewood neighborhood. Take a listen.
Our officers, 7 district officers, attempted to conduct a traffic stop, at which time an officer-involved shooting occurred. I spoke to the officer. He's in good spirits at this time. I spoke to his parents, who are here supporting him.
Authorities say that they were conducting a vehicle stop last night near 56th Street, and the vehicle reversed, hitting the squad car. Officers opened fire, and the vehicle fled the scene. No one was in custody. So hold on. You were doing a vehicle search, and all of a sudden, because the car was taking off, you decided to shoot at it? Okay. I mean, that sounds kind of odd, but I'm just, repeating what's there. Anyways, backpacks are being allowed this fall in Grand Rapids Public Schools building after they were banned last school year. Larry Johnson with the GPRS, Executive Director of Public Safety and School Security. Take a listen.
We're highly recommending those parents who choose to select a backpack that they consider a clear backpack.
The ban was put in place after 4 guns were found in school last year. The school year starts on August the 22nd. GRPS Executive Director of Public Safety and School Security Larry Johnson says the backpack ban is over.
We are moving forward with the allowing of backpacks to return to our district with our scholars this opening school year.
I mean, how weird is that? Could you imagine all of a sudden you're going to school and they say, hey, got some news for you. What's the news? No backpacks. I mean, you're probably going to have that weird moment in time that you go, huh? Yeah, you can't wear a backpack to school. Yeah, it's kind of a weird one when you really start thinking about it. So there you go. Anyways, with that being said, let's do this real quick. Let's go ahead and start off John Schmalz with the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Seth. Kurt Vonnegut said, and I'm paraphrasing here, when I was 15, I was talking to an archaeologist. I told him I don't play sports, I do theater, I'm in choir, I play the violin and play piano. I used to take art classes. He said, wow, that's amazing. And I said, no, I'm not good at any of them. Then he said something to me that I'll never forget. It absolutely blew my mind. He said, I don't think being good at things is the point of doing them. You have all these wonderful experiences with different skills. They teach you things. They make you an interesting person no matter how well you do them. Kurt Vonnegut said that changed his life. He went from being a failure at many things to somebody who did things because they enjoyed them. I encourage you to do things that you enjoy doing. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
An expert on gender-affirming healthcare says transgender issues are not a new thing. Speaking on CBS's Face the Nation, Dr. Marcy Bowers said transgender identities date back to biblical times, but it's become more of an issue today because more people are feeling comfortable coming out. We'll add this to the long list of things doctors never imagined having to tell patients. Don't eat or drink borax. Mark Mayfield explains.
A TikTok trend is suggesting that adding a pinch of 20-multein borax to water can help relieve joint pain. Many of these same TikTok videos claim that taking a bath while soaking in borax helps detoxify the body. Doctors say consuming borax can cause blue-green vomit or diarrhea and can eventually lead to anemia and seizures. Soaking in borax can lead to rashes. Borax is found in laundry detergent and is also packaged on its own as a cleaning product. The main ingredient in borax is also used to exterminate insects.
Health Updates, Sarah Lee Kessler, NBC News Radio.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
What kind of a world are we in that we had to tell people, hey, be careful and don't eat the borax? I didn't say Lorax. I said borax with the B. Yeah, I mean, what is going on? Like, oh, yeah, there was a TikTok video that gave a recommendation that I should do this, and it seemed like a good idea at the time. Like, you can't legitimately sit back there for a moment and go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Let's do it. Anyways, let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. If I take a look around, back in 1997, researchers announced that human stem cells have been cultured in a laboratory setting, and these were the basic building blocks for the baby developing inside of the womb. It would be some time before the findings were published, however. Knowing that what he was getting himself into, lead researcher Dr. John Giart wanted to spark its public discussion regarding the ethics of such procedures. That happened back in 1997. So there you go. Anyways, looking at some birthdays for today. Mason Cook turns 23. Alvin Kamara, 28. James Laverty turns 38. Chantel Van Santine turns 38. Zane Ashton, 39. Finn Balor turns 42 today. Matt LeBlanc, 56. And Doug Drabick turns 61 today. There you go, in regards of some birthdays. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, hopefully you were able to celebrate National Tequila Day yesterday. It's Carousel Day, National Hot Fudge Sundae Day. Hot Fudge Sundae Day. Wow, that's not an easy one to say. National Thread the Needle Day and National Wine Cheese Day. National Wine and Cheese Day. Can I have cheesy wine or winey cheese? I mean, I don't know. Something along those lines sounds good. So there you go on that one. Let's take a look. If you do need some whack facts, let me give you some of those real quick. It takes about 15 to 20-year-old tree to produce 700 paper grocery bags. When wolves howl together, they harmonize rather than sing one note at one note to give the illusion of greater numbers. Sea lions can dance to a beat. A study found that people interrupt close friends or family more than they interrupt strangers. Boys are more likely to be left-handed than girls are. And riding a roller coaster can help you pass kidney stones. Yeah, I would imagine so. No doubt about that one, as we are talking. Anyways, what other info do I have for you? If you need a random joke for today, I have one of those for you. If I like to refer to myself as a free spirit, it sounds a whole lot classier than out-of-controlled wingnut. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What movie is to you 100% perfect? If you need a conversation for the water cooler, try this. Question. A survey says that if you have 5 of these, you're about average. What are they? Friends. 5 friends. That's what you'd be looking at. Anyways, thank you for taking a listen to what the hell we have going on here, because we always do appreciate you coming out and hanging out and doing the things that you do. If you want to hang out here, you can take a listen to what Sheldon Primus has to say about the world of safety consulting coming up here at the top of the hour. If not, you can hang out on Radio Big and take a listen to what the hell I will be doing for the next couple of hours or so, doing the things that we get to do on the other side of the equation. No doubt about that. Anyways, thank you for being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Bake, and that is the listener, because without you, it doesn't make a lot of sense to do what we do around here. If I can't leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this. Most of the important things in the world have been accomplished by people who have kept on trying when there seemed to be no hope at all. Think about that. Is that going to get you far or what? Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
Confuses you. Cream of the crop, no time is lost. My best, it's yours.